Greetings, Sister Team here. So one of the videos we posted on this channel some time ago was on my semi-country living experience, which is what I'd like to continue today. I'm going to be talking pretty quickly because I'm just keeping up with the speed of the video itself. So welcome and let's get to it.
Pass us not, gentle Savior, won't you hear your daughters cry? While on others thou art calling, dear Lord, do not pass us by.
So I decided to purchase boxes this time around because I won't be in this trailer for too long. I got the wrong sizes. I'm taking them back and exchanging them for the size that I want. And here I'm just simply cleaning out the garden area. I've been slacking on the weeding, so I'm taking care of that as well. And then moving things out of the way so I can prevent as many accidents as possible. Thereafter, I'll start putting the boxes together. And just to let you guys know, this is over a number of days because I work a current 8 to 5 typical office job, and so I go to work, I come home, do this, and then prep for bed and do it again the next day. And so I started my seeds, as you can see in the next clip, and they are starting to look nice. And so while that's happening inside, outside is being prepped. I decided to go ahead and use the soil I mentioned was rocky last year. I pulled out as many rocks as I could, and then I put some horse manure on there, as well as whatever I could to make sure that the soil would thrive. And then now I'm putting together my corn rows because this is actually going to be a cornfield. It's getting dark, and here is my rows the following day. And then thereafter, I'm just showing you some of what I've already done. I'm digging in my holes for the corn that I've sprouted, and I'm going to zoom in on that really quickly and then start putting those in there as well.
And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed to the ground for thy sake. Genesis 3:17.
I don't have a truck, and so I'm using my car to transport soil back and forth. I wouldn't recommend it because it was a messy process, and by God's grace, I was able to get it done within 3 days. The bucket was pretty heavy, but he helped me get through that. And so now in this next clip, I'm simply just making a garden trellis for my grapevine, and my grapes are not doing the best right now because I haven't pruned them this year, and so they're dying. There are a lot of Christ object lessons in this, and I simply haven't gotten the tool for it, to be honest with you, and so I need to work on that.
I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth, that it may bring forth more fruit. John 15:1 and 2.
As you can see, after just a few weeks of just being still and allowing God to do what he does best, we have some corn in the field, and I'm so excited because last year we had nothing, and persistency is key when you're learning how to garden. And then we have a variety of kale coming in, some lemongrass and onions and black beans, which was my first try. And then these are just some onions that were growing wild in the house, so I decided to plant them. Here are my peppers, another cucumber variety. I tried arugula last year, that didn't grow, but now it's growing. And then my tomatillo plant. In this next clip, I want to show you what kind of happened during the Redding car fire, which happened in Redding, California, which is where I currently live. As you know, it was one of the most devastating fires in all of California history, in fact, in the world at large. And as you can see here, the corn has all burned out and dried, and my place is all full of weed because I was evacuated for about 3 weeks, and unfortunately was neglected, but it was going pretty nicely
I did decide to keep the corn because I realized in order to get cornmeal, you would need to dry it out anyway. And so it wasn't a complete loss because I was able to keep that for cornmeal.
Now, when I came home, my jaws literally dropped because I came home to about 6 to 30 inches of growth, and it was just this beautiful miracle that I had seen. And as you can see here, I'm finally getting a few buds of the actual squash that should have already been harvested even before the car fire. So that was something that was discouraging to me, is because even though the leaf seemed healthy, I wasn't getting the harvest that I thought I should have been getting. I knew I should have been getting. But now you see how everything, look at that lemongrass, look how tall it is in just a matter of 2 to 3 weeks. The onions are sprouting, the black beans are just growing wild. And here I'm going to show how I'm pulling one open, and I was so ignorant because, you know, if you've ever seen a bag of beans, it always says make sure you pull out all the stones and wash it thoroughly before you cook it, and you're like, fine. So I always thought that the beans grew underneath, and that's why there was so much rocks and soils in them. But no, it's just because they drop and then people pick them from the floor. And you know, so I'm learning new things in the process of all of this, because we're just so ignorant, and we're so blessed to have, I guess, a nation where you can easily buy everything at the store. But and I don't know, the more I garden, the less I wonder if it is a blessing to have all these conveniences that we have, because it's more crippling and debilitating than anything else. And so here again are some peppers. You can actually start seeing them coming up now, you know, and I have a lot of these coming in. They're hiding all over the place. And here again, this is a variety of cucumber, and I have to say again that my squash, my watermelon, and my cucumbers, unfortunately, even through all of this, didn't make it, because at this point they should have already been harvested. But because of the Reading heat, everything was being scorched to the point that nothing grew until the sun was covered by the smog and the smoke, which happened during the Reading car fire. Then everything sprouted. Look at the arugula. I just showed you a clip, and look how much it's grown. My vines just started growing all over the place, the bushes and the tomatillo. Even now, today as I'm speaking, I'm starting to get so many of the little tomatillo bulbs that were missing before. Even though the bush itself was healthy, there were no bulbs in there, and I'm finally starting to see them. Unfortunately, this shot that I provided is not the best. I was trying to show a bulb. And yeah, it was just a complete blessing in disguise, and, you know, and I saw how the Lord took care of the little rental property while I was gone, and it was just a complete blessing. And we see how his hand is literally in everything.
As you can see, my garden is still a work in progress. I have a lot of weeding to do. There's a lot of trash all over the garden, and as you can see, painting supplies, and literally my garden still looks like a junkyard because of all the unnecessary items. So why am I even taking the time to show you all of this, to show you what I would consider somewhat a disorganized garden? And the reason why I'm doing this is to literally encourage you to get moving, start somewhere. This is a period of trial and error. This is a period of testing and learning how to just simply make your mistakes and learn from them. Stumbling blocks are not meant to keep you down, and to encourage you. I remember last year, I remember going to a Sabbath convocation, and I overheard two brothers talking about their garden, and one was showing him some pictures and saying, hey, look at my garden, look at what I've started. And the other individual is kind of like, man, that's not a garden, that's so on and so forth. My garden looks like a jungle. And when I heard that, I was kind of hurt and pained within, because we don't realize how important this gardening and learning to just use our hands is something that the Lord is asking us to do. It's not like we're doing this because it's something that we enjoy. Some people naturally enjoy this, but others don't. And so don't discourage someone who is
finally, getting their feet wet and learning how to garden and to rake and to do the things that they normally wouldn't do because they're normally in the office, they're normally working on other things. And as you know, we don't live in a society that promotes agricultural lifestyle or homesteading and all of these things that the Lord has told us through the Bible and through the spirit of prophecy that we need to begin doing, so that when that time comes and we are no longer able to buy food or sell items, we have a means of survival through the work of our hands, our own labor, and by what God is blessing. And so don't discourage each other, and keep moving along. Whether it's you're working with a little square footage or an acre, start somewhere.
Please stay tuned for part 2. Is country living really biblical? Coming soon. Bye.
Oh, behold, God is mine helper.
In this life, in this battle, I sought for labels, fought for titles. See, I once chased and I have followed your leaders, your books, your white picket fence. But man cares not for your sorrows, his money, his power, at my expense. In this life you'll get your labels in exchange for self-respect, and this world will give you titles. Lose your soul to your regret. In this life, in this battle, I had some labels, gained some titles, was once enslaved, I had idols, it was he, she, them, me, and all these goals. 'Twas said of me, she's differential, no vision, no brains, no potential. Let your labels and your titles be guards of truth you can defend, 'cause this world and its possessions will all perish in the end. This is the cry of the jilted, abandoned, forsaken, neglected, who feel the pain, cannot restrain, the dagger cut deep, you can barely sleep. A child disowned, a girl now grown, yet somehow you still feel like you're all alone. Take it from me who could not see that I was chosen to lead, so I had to bleed. Now, there's a man in the Bible, despised, afflicted, rejected, suffered our shame, gave us his name, Jesus Christ that is. He died that we could have peace. I am God's daughter, that is my title. Corrected, protected, selected, soon to be perfected. So I will say when I meet him, my Lord, I see it. All this while 'twas for my sake. I am your child, that is my label. Jehovah my God is able to fulfill what he promised.
My King is coming.
Daughters of Zion, your redemption draweth nigh.
I've got to be ready.
If you were blessed by this presentation and would like to find out how you could hear this and other messages presented at your local church and community, please email us at info@hisdaughtersmeekness.org. You can also mail us at P.O. Box 1065, Palo Cedro, California, 96073. We want to leave you with our ministry text, which is Titus 2:3-5. It says, "The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed." Take care and God bless. Bye.